y'all? Welcome to another edition of Beauty and the Beat. I'm your girl, the DiDi Skky.
And I'm your boy, Geno the artist. How are you guys doing this morning?
What's going on this afternoon and evening and all that good stuff? Whenever you are watching, we want to thank you guys for joining us. You know what? Before we get started, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. All of that.
Share, comment, and subscribe. You don't know what you're not on.
And tell your friends and your friends' friends and your girlfriend, your guy friends, everybody.
Your grandma, the people that you play cards with, you go drinking with, your neighbors.
Just let everybody know that we are here bringing you the best in beauty, fashion, entertainment, and music. And today our special guest is no other than Dr. Rachael Ross. Geno, your friend.
My friend, yes. First of all, first she was my boss. So it's so funny because, you know, now that we have this friendship, I still call her Doc.
That's right.
I call her Doc. No matter, I know her name and all that. I'm just so used to calling her Doc. So her name for me is Doc.
Yes. So from the show, The Doctors, Dr. Rachael Ross will be joining us today. And I am too excited because I got a list of stuff that I
Yes, maybe we can get some information because you know she's a sexologist as well.
Well, you know, those are all the questions that I have. See.
Yeah. So,
I'm about to sit back, honey, and get my cup of tea and some popcorn and a notepad so I can write it all down.
I need my drink. Where's my drink? Waiter, drink, please.
We'll have that. I'm going to have a drink, as a matter of fact. So, can't wait to talk to Dr. Rachael Ross right here on Beauty and the Beat.
Right here.
Look, just before I let you go, just a couple things you need to know. How you came along and made me like you. See, I don't know another woman like you. Your lips glitter like gold, and your teeth like ivory. Captivating is your smile, you shine so loud. I know you love me, but I said it first. And I was cursed to be alone, but you came along and lived the curse. Like, who are you? Where you come from? Why you trying to take advantage, trying to blame me dumb?
Hey guys, we have a special guest here today. My old boss, a great friend of mine. Welcome to our show, Dr. Rachael Ross.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Your old boss. I love that. Hey, you still let me boss you around sometimes.
Yes.
You know?
I was just telling DiDi about, I said, how we met. I said, it was just so strange. She needed a makeup artist. She needed a makeup and hair artist in Texas. And that's how our story started. She's the reason why I'm here in California. She's the reason why I'm in the union, you know. And I told DiDi, I said she was pregnant. She went all the way up until, I think you worked all the way to the last minute so I can have a job.
Oh man, we plotted that out, didn't we?
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work. When I met Geno, I was like, gosh, you know, it's funny because we were running late on my end and Geno was on time, and then we got cross communications. Of course, Geno's always early. And so then, you know, I'm not the type that I didn't really notice how great I looked after he hooked it up, right? It wasn't until I was sending pictures back home and everybody's like, who did your makeup? And I was like, oh, I do look pretty cute. And so that was the beginning of the rest of our lives. And so he was able to come join me in Hollywood, and we just were such a star team. Jordan and Pippen. That's what we call it.
I just told her that.
Jordan and Pippen. That's right. Y'all had a game plan going on. So was this actually during the show, The Doctors?
Yes, this was during The Doctors. So I think I had been on the show a season already.
Uh-huh.
And you know, and Geno and I connected, and you know, it's interesting because when you're a Black woman in Hollywood, you always have hair and makeup issues. It just kind of is just par for course. And so the idea that I was going to be glowing every day when I walked on there was perfect for me, but it was too much for everybody else. I mean, there were days when they would tell Geno, she looks too good. Can you, do some things? You know, Black women aren't supposed to be on TV looking too good. You know?
That's why we call him the face beater, honey. He beats the faces.
And we've just been connected and close knit like ever since.
Yes, Geno's become part of my family. So it's amazing how stuff like that happens, and you grow and you stay connected, and that's what's most important.
And then transition into friendship. It's nothing more beautiful than that.
Yes.
That's awesome. I follow you. I've had the pleasure of meeting you, and I love your style. It's like you give us glam in 1 minute, and then you'll press the envelope just a little bit and give us a little, chic here and there. I mean, tell us about your style and how your moods kind of determine how you want to be styled on a particular day.
That's a great question, and I can say it started when I was a kid, because for me, I hated wearing dresses, right? So what my mom would do as part of punishment was I had to wear like dress for like 2 weeks straight or 3 weeks straight. And so in order to make that more comfortable for like a tomboy at heart, you've got to throw on some jeans underneath it sometimes. You've got to have shorts. You've got to try to make it a little bit of your own. Otherwise, you start to feel like, this oddity in a dress that you didn't want to wear. So it really started there. And now I feel like my style is a little bit of it's interesting because on the doctors, it was all glam. It was like every day it was like a tight dress and some red bottoms or, some fancy shoes or whatever. And so, but my own personal style is probably a mix between probably throwing on maybe like a jogging suit and some red bottoms versus necessarily having the whole thing be all glammed up. So I like to try to mix and match pieces that maybe cost $2, maybe that is kind of grungy with something that's super sparkly and shiny and cute. And so it kind of seems like it matches my personality, and it just kind of flows.
It does. Trust me, it definitely does.
Absolutely. And then I also actually, from that note as well, I recently saw one of your posts when I think you attended an event with Lena Waithe, one of her premieres or something, and you had on the Benjamin,
yes, yes, it was all money, right? And it was perfect. It was a perfect. You know how you have certain things in your closet and you're like, I love that, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to wear that. Where does this go? Right? So that premiere was the perfect event to bring out the money, the
money. I was like,
hey.
Yes, and I had to pair it with a hat. That's kind of been my signature. It's like a nice hat.
Those hats, I love them. I still love them too. Ooh, those hats.
Thank you.
So, Doc, please tell us about the Dr. Rachel's Institution, please.
Yes. Let me get this lad. Hold on.
Right. Because, we got to get a drink to that one.
You didn't tell me to bring my cocktail.
Oh, Doc. I forgot.
Now, already.
We had a conversation about this, so here it goes.
Yes. So the Dr. Rachel Institute. So, I've done a lot of things, but I think that this is one of the things that I'm proudest about is because, so I got into television and radio and all these things to really try to have an impact on the way we visualize and live in relationships, right? And the way that we handle our sex lives. And I think particularly in our community, we grow up kind of churchy, right? So then when it comes time to, it's my puppy.
Hey, Madeline. Hey, Uncle Baby.
You can tell she can't hear you, right?
Right.
Or else she'd be like,
right.
So what happens is, you get into media for a particular reason, right? And then you look up and you're like, I'm not really sure that I'm meeting those goals. Particularly, like on the doctors, I was more of talking about medical stuff, diabetes, hypertension, which is fine. But, my goal has always been to have a major impact on sex and relationships. And so it dawned on me that one of the best ways to do that is to launch an institute that trains other sexologists. So I paired up with my old mentor from when I was a student, and we developed the Dr. Rachael Institute as a way to train individuals. And we've had everyone from doctors and lawyers and truck drivers and sex toy distributors. I mean, all across the board, right? Yeah. All across the board, train them on how to coach individuals and couples on sex issues and relationship issues. And it has been so amazing. And I think the best part is the majority of them will send me a message within the first, couple weeks of training and be like, this has had such a major impact on me and my own relationships.
Wow.
So, it starts from here and then it spreads out. And so I've just been so excited about, the students, and then when they finish, to watch them blossoming and growing. And I always say that sexuality coaching is a little different than sex coaching because it sprinkles in all of that stuff you've already been doing in your whole life. It sprinkles in nutrition, it sprinkles in environmental toxins, because all of that is such a big part of sexuality, right? So I'm just so ecstatic about it. I like wake up some days, I'm like, pinch me. This is really, really, really
but
real.
You should be. That's your another baby of yours.
Yes, I am certainly so interested. I'm just intrigued by it. So again, I'm IG stalking because I'm always just looking at your stuff. So I'm looking at your IG, and I saw one of your students who actually said that there was an interview prior to her being accepted into the university. There was a interview that you conducted with her. So what are the prerequisites? Like, what would you be looking for from me, a new student, possibly? DiDi Skky, the sexologist. I can see that. Oh,
I can see DiDi Skky.
Give me a drink.
You even had the sexologist name already.
Right. And the moves.
Yes, and the moves.
I'm gonna drink to that one.
Yeah, and the look too. So I love it. So yeah, you know what? I am very connected to the students. To me, it's really important that I know what their goals are, because then I can kind of help customize the experience a little bit. Because like for instance, another family practitioner who's joining, her goal is going to be a little different than someone who, maybe a media person or something like that. So what I always want to do is figure out what the goals are and help steer the person in that direction. Because I always say, I'm like, okay, we didn't become entrepreneurs to create a new 9-to-5 for ourselves, right? So I don't advocate for my students to be booked 9 appointments a day, just one back to back. But what we have to do is we work smarter instead of harder. So I think the cool part about the Institute is that I bundle in so much of the business stuff and the marketing stuff that that if my students aren't successful, it's because they just didn't do it. And it's interesting because we have like a lot of Canadian students, and they end up being the most successful because they follow it like it's a handbook. I'll have them come back and talk to the students. And I'm like, so tell us, what did you do? They're like, well, I did everything you said to do. Wow. And so then the other students are sitting blinking because, they missed the boat, or they're not moving quickly, or whatever it is. But the blueprint is there for success. And I feel as though there are very certain driven people that they get that blueprint and then they're off to the races. And then there's others of us that, get into it and then procrastinate, and then and then the mama gets sick. There's always something. So, but I feel like it's a supportive environment no matter which one of those people you are. Whether you need a push or whether you're going to just fly, whether I'm pushing or not. So it's a great thing. We have live office hours, a couple times a month, and the rest of it is on demand, right? So the office hours gives me an opportunity to connect with them even more, and to hear tragedies and triumphs, and really just help propel them. So it's quite exciting.
And then, so what can you take away from this? Yes. Certificate or degree, or what can I then do with this?
Yes. So through the Dr. Rachael Institute, you can become a certified clinical sexuality coach, right? So then what that allows you to do is you can actually join the ranks of sexologists all over the world. So our program is actually accredited through the American College of Sexologists. So when you finish our program, if you so desire, you can actually even head over to their organization and become an accredited member, which accounts for 300 hours of education. So that's pretty amazing. Wow. But I think the coolest part is that when you're finished with the program, you are then equipped to, and I encourage my students to kind of launch their business before they even finish the program, but you're equipped to start coaching couples, individuals, holding seminars, holding workshops. And we have people who focus on everything from, better blowjobs to even recovering after an affair. So, it really kind of is all over the board. Geno.
Need more time and more wine, honey. This is.
I just need the fan, Doc. I'm sorry.
I have a question for you, Doc. I have a question. My girlfriends and I were together this weekend, and we, of course, whenever you get together it was my birthday, but
happy birthday.
Thank you. So you end up talking about sex, relationships, partnerships, things, how it worked, that didn't work, or whatever. And so the conversation came about people who are bisexual or have bisexual tendencies.
Sure.
And so I've always had a question in regards to people who are sexually fluid or bisexual. Is it like when you wake up in the morning and you desire to have breakfast and you say, today I want pancakes rather than cereal? Is it that way? Is it, that person wakes up and says, oh, today I feel like, my desire is to be with a man, or today my desire is to be with a woman? Does it fluctuate like that? How does that actually work?
That is such a good question. And sexuality is so individualized that it's really hard to stereotype what every bisexual is doing. But I'll say this, that what happens is that every person who's bisexual still has a preference, right? So they may say it's a girl. She may prefer the company of women, but prefer dick on the weekends. So like it is as creative as you can imagine, or it can be a man who is very attracted to men physically, but really doesn't want to have a relationship with one. Yeah. So bisexuality becomes one of those things that is so individualized, and it's kind of like medicine or anything else. Like, all of our DNA is so different and all of our preferences are so different that you really want to try not to pigeonhole anybody. And oftentimes what we'll do is we'll take a label like bisexual, we'll take a label like homosexual or straight, and we will put people into a box and imagine that their sex lives and their preferences and everything fit into that box that you have stereotyped for. And it's 9 times out of 10, it's really, really very wrong. So bisexuality is really just kind of a term that means that I can actually be sexually attracted to anybody. Now, what I decide to do with that can be different. You can actually be sexually attracted to women and never really ever been with one, because the opportunity may have never presented itself to you. So we have sex for so many different reasons. And I try to remind people of this every time. Like, just because a guy has had sex with another guy, that doesn't mean that he is gay. Because think about all the reasons you have sex with somebody. I've had sex with somebody because I've been bored. I've had sex with somebody because they were the only person available. I've had sex with somebody because I was drunk. I've had sex with somebody because I wanted to. I had sex for money. Like, if you think about all of the different motivations for sex, there's so many of them that you can't pigeonhole anybody based off of 1 or 2 activities. You really have to have a conversation, get to know them, talk to them, explore, and I think that in our relationships and Black couples in general, we're so quick to want to stick people into holes and not hear what they're saying and not respect that they're just a human being and attraction is fluid. You may have dated girls in high school, but you may have never been with one since and don't even think about it anymore. So does that mean you're a lesbian? No, it means you're whatever you want to be at this moment. So thinking about it like that is a much healthier way to think about sex and relationships, and it'll keep us from having to deal with closeted people, because you'll be so open to the dialogue surrounding it that the closeted people won't stay closeted around you, because you're asking the questions, you guys are having a good time, and they don't feel like they've got to even hide it from you. Yeah. So, yeah.
Right. I love it.
Yeah. Great question. Great question. I feel like our community has so many answers and questions about bisexuality and homosexuality. And I love that it comes up. And with the Dr. Rachael Institute, one thing I'll say, particularly for our educators, like our teachers, and I'll get these emails that say when they get to that section on sexuality, like bisexuality, asexuality, homosexuality, that it really changes the way that they start to deal with their family members who are gay and their loved ones who are gay, and even their students, if some of them are teachers in high schools and things like that. So I love that dialogue.
Oh, we can talk. Oh, we'll have to do another show.
Yes.
Because I know our guests our viewers are gonna say, okay, what does sexuality have to do with music or entertainment? But I think it all is encompassing. I actually think that sex is musical. There's a rhythm to it. So we can talk about. You coming back, Dr. Rachael?
Okay, I can't wait.
Don't get her started, Doc. So something fishing, how since we don't have much to do in this pandemic, I'm fishing around social media. I'm on your page, and I see a script that says The Doctor's In with Jamal. Please tell us about this.
Yes, with one of the most fabulous writers. His name is Jamal Pittman. We sat down and had a dialogue. I actually approached him because I'd read some of his work before, and I said, I have this idea, and I've got tons of programming ideas, and this was one that I wanted to lead with. And he and I sat down and we created characters, kind of based a little in reality. Of course, characters come to life from people
yeah.
but really kind of dealing with Black families and gay and being gay within a Black family. And I think that what we forget is if you notice, if you have a Black family member and there's like 20 people at the table, right? They'll go around, and everybody knows that one family member is gay, right? They'll go around and ask everybody at the table, so when's the baby coming? How's it going? But when it gets to the gay person at the table, they get skipped over. Mm-hmm. And everybody just assumes that that's the thing we don't talk about or don't mention at the table. So The Doctor Is In kind of takes the Black family and the just innate homophobia that's there. I mean, even when you want to do right, sometimes you're just not doing right. So it kind of takes that and it exposes it for itself in a very friendly, honest way that I think a lot of people are gonna really enjoy and get into. So I'm super excited about it.
Is it a comedy? Is it a
Yes, it's a sitcom. It's a sitcom. Yeah. So it's gonna
be over. I have to make
What'd
sure
you say?
I have to send my resume over.
Yes. Because you already know you have an alter ego in the script. Right? You already know. So I'm really excited to be jumping into this side of Hollywood.
I'm excited for you. It's been a long time coming, so coming back.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, Dr. Rachael, we thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. We are definitely going to reschedule another interview with you just to talk about the rhythm of sex. We can go into it. Look at this.
The rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you.
The rhythm does get you. So we're going to talk about all of that. I'm super excited, and I'm actually interested in the sexology part.
Yes, so we got to talk offline about this because I could totally see you as a sexologist.
I can totally see. Look at the hate on Geno's face.
Look at Geno.
Hey, Betsy, are you watching the show?
They calling my mama.
Busted.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you're watching the show. Okay, bye. Numb your home ranging war.
So something tells me that Auntie Betsy isn't going to be surprised if DiDi shows up. Something tells me she's going to be like, well, Finally, she found.
She'll start
She ain't
playing.
the baby, so she may get away with it.
I am the baby.
Oh,
She
yeah,
be
she'll
clutching
get
her baby mama be clutching her pearls.
Right.
Well, thank
this
you
is
so
so much
much
fun.
again, Dr. Rachael.
Yeah,
And
anytime.
continue to be careful. And you know what? Thank you for everything that you're doing on the front lines for us.
Oh, man.
You know, for the work that you do, and for the hope that you give, and those magical hands, those blessed hands that you have. So thank you so much, Dr.
That's in need of a manicure, by the way.
And please tell us, before you leave, tell us where we can find you at.
Oh, yeah. So follow me on social media at Dr. Rachael, DrRachael. Head over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. It's YouTube/Dr. Rachael. And thanks for everything. I can't wait to be back. You guys rock. So good to see you.
So much, Doc. I'll talk
Yes.
You have a
Okay.
great one.
You too. Bye.
Yes, that was so awesome.
That Dr. Rachael Ross.
Dr. Rachael Ross. And I am too excited to take her course in sexology. I think I'm going to be excellent as a sex expert.
Oh, hold on. What? Betsy? Oh, you're listening. Okay, just want to make sure you're listening in.
Hey,
Okay, bye.
This is in no relation to my desire to also be a stripper. It has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Oh, Magic City. You are in Atlanta.
It's always one of those things of, what could you have done back in the days, you think, and so, but this time I really think that I could be a really good sex expert though.
Okay.
I'm very open to hearing, about new things. And once I take her course, then I'll know even more information. So I'll be more knowledgeable, and I'll be able to share and help others.
And I'll just ask you if I need something.
Child, you don't need me.
Oh, I plead.
Are you pleading the fifth? Is that what? Child, you could teach me some things. Anyway. Thank you, Dr. Rachael, for coming and hanging out with us right here on Beauty and the Beat. That's going to do it for our show today. Be sure to like, follow, share, subscribe, tell everybody about it. Follow us. I'm at DiDi Skky on IG and Facebook.
And I'm your boy Geno, the artist. That's Geno, the artist, on all social media outlets. Follow us, like this, share it.
Like all of that good stuff. We'll see you
Conversation.
next time on Beauty and the Beat.
The Beat.